Hey guys, Marcus Melnick here with Firearm Mentor. Hope you're enjoying my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. These little things are free to you and really help the channel. I appreciate your support. Enjoy. Thank you. The views expressed are not those of local community broadcasting, WYML LP, or its management, volunteers, or underwriters. Greetings and welcome to the Personal Safety Show. This is Marcus Melnick from Firearm Mentor and Stress to Logic, your host. And as you know, from time to time, we have people on the show that we interview who either are related to the safety field or who have a phenomenal charity that really helps people. And today I have Nika Zisman, whom I met at a Chamber of Commerce event. She works for Two Men and a Truck. And she's a recent college graduate. Two Men in a Truck is a moving company. I believe it's a national moving company. It started with two guys, college, I believe. But we'll have her explain that. And she has this phenomenal charity that we'll talk about after we get to know you. Nika, welcome to the show.
Hi, Marcus. Thank you so much for having me on here.
Awesome. Can you share with everyone, what is your personal origin story? How did you get to where you are today?
I studied business marketing at Lake Forest College, and I started after that. I graduated and went to Milwaukee because I was planning on moving there, so I was a supervisor at the yacht club out there, and then I realized I wanted to do something closer to my field. I really wanted to get into marketing and really dig into that and get a chance to really just explore that. So I found a position at Two Men in a Truck here. Started in about October, and since then it's just been great, and it's a great company to work for. I love all my coworkers, and I love what we do.
So are you telling me that working at a yacht club just didn't float your boat? I know, horrible.
That was a good one.
No, it wasn't. My kids tell me I'm not funny. So tell us about Two Men in a Truck.
Two Men in a Truck was founded in 1985 in Lansing, Michigan. It was two high school boys. Their names are Brick and John Sorber. And their mom, Mary Ellen Sheets, she actually was the one that developed the logo that you do still see on our trucks to this day, which is just that stick figure logo on there. Today, Two Men in a Truck is the first and largest franchise moving company in the world with more than 420 territories and 3,000 trucks operating in 48 states in the United States. Also, we are international as well, so we have some locations in Canada, Ireland, and the UK as well. And we have completed over 10 million moves altogether. And we really just strive to exceed our customers' expectations and value and high standards of satisfaction with every move that we complete.
Terrific. I understand that the Two Men in a Truck have some awards. Can you talk about those?
So Two Men in a Truck has been consistently ranked in the Entrepreneurs Franchise 500. They've been ranked number one in the moving in junk removal category in 2022. And the company has also been recognized as a top 50 franchise in the Franchise Business Review's Franchise Satisfaction Awards from 2006 to 2021. It also earned a spot on the Entrepreneur's Top Global Franchise List in 2021 and was named one of the top franchises for veterans that same year. Additionally, it was recognized as one of the top recession-proof businesses by Franchise Business Review in 2020.
See, folks, I don't have any slouches on my show. These are real deal. So you do marketing for the franchise, correct?
Right.
And where's the franchise located?
So the franchise that I work at is in Northbrook. We also have a location in Des Plaines and Chicago as well.
Okay. And can you explain to everyone what your role in marketing? How do you market? What's your day-to-day like?
Absolutely. So I am the marketing and B2B strategist here. So I work on developing marketing campaigns to promote our services to local businesses and corporate partners from multiple approaches. My personal favorite is the grassroots face-to-face approach, where I just go and visit different corporations, locations, small businesses, larger businesses, and I really just try to network with them and talk to them. So I do really enjoy the face-to-face approach. So work on conducting marketing research and analysis to identify growth opportunities in various sectors And I also manage our social media platforms and collaborate with cross-functional teams to ensure alignment between marketing and sales objectives as well.
Awesome. And I've moved several times in my life, and working in public safety law enforcement, I've had some very interesting conversations with some of the movers, several of whom were convicted felons and former gang members. And the advice I'll give to everyone is when you're moving, I highly recommend that you move your valuables and your fragile items separately so that you actually have control over them. And our last move, it was just a silly thing. One of my stepson's trophies broke. It's not a big deal. It wasn't packed well, but it was, who cares? It wasn't anything that was financially valuable. He liked it, but he was younger. He got over it in about 2 minutes. And when I move, I move my own ammunition. He can't really move ammunition with a moving company, and my own firearms, because I don't really know about the backgrounds of the people who are moving my stuff. Can you talk about some of the background checks and drug tests and training that you provide to your employees?
Absolutely. So each and every moving team we send on a job has passed a drug screening, a background check, and has undergone thorough training to ensure that they meet our standards and can get the job done correctly.
Very good. This is me being nosy. When you do drug tests, are you also testing for cannabis, as that is now legal in Illinois?
Yes.
So they can't even be on cannabis.
Correct. We do also test for that as well.
Okay. What if someone has a medical card for it?
Then that would be a separate discussion and a separate issue. And I'm sure, there's something that could be done if, it's for medical use. But besides that, if you don't have like a medical reason for whatever you're prescribed, then it would probably not be okay. But yeah, so everyone in general is drug tested and background checked. Okay,
cool. That was just me being curious, because I'm not really in that world where I'm drug tested or I'm drug testing. I'm an army of one. My companies are just me. So that's why I just don't have experience. That's why I asked. So recently I was contacted by Nika to ask me if she could her company could put a drop box at my location for a campaign called Movers for Moms. Now, I don't really have a physical location. I'm primarily an at-home business, and I go to other people when they require training or keynote speaking. So I didn't have a location for the company to put a drop box. However, the way that I wanted to contribute is to interview Nika on the radio and get the word out, because if someone else has a small business, or even they work for a larger business and they'd like to do this is the education that we're providing. So what is Movers for Moms?
So Movers for Moms is a campaign that all of our franchises run each year during the springtime, right before Mother's Day, for moms in need. 2 Men in a Truck was actually started by a single mom, so we try to help women in need, such as those that are in homeless shelters or domestic abuse shelters, by collecting items based on the list of the items that the shelter provides for us. So we just really strive to help the women that are in need in those situations each year.
And what, it's a drop box, so people are bringing stuff. What kind of stuff are you looking for?
So we're looking for mainly just hygienic items, and such as like travel size Kleenexes, sanitizing wipes without alcohol, of course, hot hands. We also do collect food pantry items such as SpaghettiOs, canned chicken soup, jelly, strawberry and grape jelly, things like that, and also pads, tampons, things like that could really just help those women that are facing these situations.
Ugh, does SpaghettiOs really help people? Oh, that was a joke. I'm just kidding. But you're talking about canned food, really, right?
Yes.
Okay, that was just an example, not specifically SpaghettiOs, but anything that has nutrition in a can that has a longer shelf life. And I understand that, and that's just me being goofy. So if somebody maybe doesn't have a collection point, but they'd like to donate items or even money towards items, how could they do that?
Absolutely. So we will actually have an Amazon wish list on our website that notates all the items that we are looking for, so people can be aware of that. And if they just go on twomen.com/Chicago, they can see the list of items on there on the Amazon wish list, and they can actually just send in those items to our location here in Northbrook, or really any location, and we can come and pick those up, and then we can go ahead and take those to the shelter.
You know, being on social media and being a spelling connoisseur, a lot of people don't know the difference between there, and two, and two. So could you spell the website for everyone?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be TWOMEN.com/Chicago.
Awesome. So you mentioned that this is a national program in the continental United States, 48 states. And there, in the past, I got some stats, and I'm just going to tell everyone about them. In the past, Movers for Moms, or last year, collected over 430,000 items. And the generous donation basically brought a total of more than 2 million donated items. Program's been I think this is the 18th year, and it's partnered with more than 1,400 businesses, schools, community collection points throughout the U.S. That's extremely impressive. And you don't know this, but I am going to announce this on the radio now. A partner and I are working on creating a not-for-profit for the actual clientele that you serve. We are looking at doing training sessions, mindset training for free to primarily women who are in relationships that have an unbalanced power dynamic. So people going through a divorce, or if there's abuse or even homelessness. We're not quite there yet, but I would love to somehow collaborate with you perhaps next year when we're up and running. We're in the planning phases right now. So this type of charity is really close to my heart. I really believe men and women are equal. They should be equals in their relationships. And, you know, it's kind of funny. I don't believe in gender roles, but I believe in doing what people like. I like to cook. My wife likes to clean. I hate to clean. She hates to cook. So that's a true partnership. And don't get me wrong, I just emptied the dishwasher. So it's not that I don't like to clean. I mean, I obviously do what I can, and sometimes she cooks. But primarily, I'm the chef in the family. And, you know, you never trust a thin cook. That was my joke. How else does Two Men in a Truck give back to the community?
We also have different campaigns that we run as well. They're not necessarily not every location has to run it, whereas Movers for Moms, all of our franchises run it every single year, but we also do Movers for Military, Movers for Meals, Movers for Months, and Truckload of Warmth, as well as Truckload of Cheer. So those are mainly the campaigns that we actually do. And I recently ran the Movers for Meals campaign at our location, which was our first time running the campaign here in general. So that was awesome.
What's involved in running the campaign? What do you have to, I mean, obviously you reached out to companies like mine to see if we can get donation points, and you definitely have the logistics because you have trucks. You can go pick up the stuff. What are some other things that you do to get the word out?
Yeah, absolutely. So I try to post on social media as much as I can on all of our social medias, just trying to promote that. I also, whenever I go to chamber events, I try to announce that. I try to send out as many emails as I can as well. For instance, for the Movers for Meals campaign recently, I was on WGN and ABC News as well, talking about the campaign and really just reaching out to as many media platforms as I can and talking to as many people as I can and just asking them to spread the word, because as much as I love marketing, I also really do enjoy working with the community, and that just makes my job that much more special.
So I'm going off script here. I'm going to ask you a specific, and you might not know the answer, and that's perfectly okay. This is a national program. It requires a ton of coordination throughout the country. Do the local franchises donate to local shelters, or is everything centralized and then it's given out to shelters? How does the distribution work is my question.
Right. So we just reach out to just any shelter that is within our community. I actually partnered with Journeys the Journeys the Road Home in Palatine. And so basically we reach out to different organizations, such as when I reached out to yours, and other organizations within the community that are interested in just being a collection partner. So what that means is I would come over there, I would drop off one of our boxes, and I would give them a poster just listing all the items so people are aware of what we would be collecting. And then towards Mother's Day, because this campaign runs until Mother's Day, we then go to each of these locations with our trucks, and we pick all those boxes up, and then we take them back to the shelter so that the women can receive them.
I have an idea for you. You ready for my idea?
Yeah.
And it just popped in my head. So
Totally.
I know this is scary. Ooh, I'm going to talk about guns. But to have a firearm to go to a shooting range, you have to be background checked up the wazoo. And part of that is not having any orders of protection or anything like that. And I've seen Toys for Tots and other similar type things. I would recommend calling around the local gun stores to see if you can use them, because typically the people that go there are generous and they are good people, and you may get some additional donations from them. So that's just my recommendation to help you out.
Thank you.
Sure. It sounds like a really small thing, but you may, I can't predict the future, but it may help you. It may help the organization and help the women. Another logistics question. So you collect all this stuff. You know, it's someone brings a can, whatever, travel size stuff, and they dump it. They place it in the bin. Is there then a process to kind of organize all this stuff and put together little packages of, hey, look, here's a cosmetic thing, here's a toiletry bag, or how does the packaging work?
So I think that really just depends on how the shelter wants to do that. When I worked with the food pantry in the Northfield Township Food Pantry for the Movers for Meals campaign, we just dropped off those boxes to them. And since we were just collecting mainly canned food and non-perishable items, they just divided that into the sections within their food pantry where those items fit. I'm not exactly 100% sure how the Journeys Road Home is going to plan on just dividing that up. But yeah, normally we would help with organizing and just, dividing all the items so it can make it easier to access all those.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, you think these shelters really know their clientele better than you do as you're collecting the stuff. You don't know the people's stories and all that. And I don't mean that as a negative. It might have come out that way, but I mean it's positive that the people who are closest to the individuals who are being helped are the ones who are deciding who needs what. I think that's phenomenal. Are there other charitable organizations or endeavors that Two Men and a Truck give to? Like, do they give grants? Some companies give grants, like Rotary gives grants. Is that part of Two Men and a Truck?
So Two Men and a Truck doesn't give out grants to not-for-profits, but they do partner with charities and participate in community outreach programs. So Two Men and a Truck partners with local and national charities, including United Way, Habitat for Humanity, and Toys for Tots.
Okay, very good. So it's not just it's pretty deep, which is fantastic. I love it. What final thoughts can you offer about what you do? And maybe I didn't ask you something that I should have asked you or that you would like to discuss. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Marcus. Just some final thoughts is, in general, what I do is just, of course, I attend a lot of networking events. I speak to a lot of different people, but part of what really makes it just really meaningful for me is being able to learn from others and their experiences. Since I am pretty young and I did just graduate college, I'm not necessarily the most experienced person, but just being around those people and gaining insights from them and hearing their stories really just makes it more impactful and makes me really appreciate the job that I do and the people that I get to work with.
Awesome. Can you reshare your contact information, website, social media, how people can get a hold of you either to donate or maybe they have a move coming up? Can you just reshare your contact information?
Absolutely. So you can reach me by dialing our number here at 312-291-2668, which is our location's number. You could also follow us on Instagram, which is two men. Again, the two is spelled out TWOMEN _Chicago. Or you could also follow Two Men in a Truck. It's going to be the Northbrook location on Facebook. And then again, our website is twomen.com/Chicago. And again, the two is spelled out TWOMEN.com/Chicago.
Terrific. Nika, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to our listeners about the awesome work that you personally and your company, Two Men in a Truck, do. We greatly appreciate everything that you're contributing to the community.
Well, honestly, thank you, Marcus, because it really does go a long way just for you reaching out and really being interested in spreading the word and sharing that with everybody. So that really means a lot, and I really appreciate the contribution that you have put in as well.
Terrific. I want my listeners to know that this is my dream, teaching people about safety. If it weren't for you, if it weren't for my listeners, I couldn't live my dream. So on behalf of my family and myself, I want to thank each and every one of you for allowing me to live my dream. And I also want to continue to live my dream, and I'm excited to continue to spread the word of safety. Recently, I began a new service as a conference keynote speaker. So if anyone would like for me to speak at future events, or if anyone knows of an introduction or would like to discuss how we can work with one another, I'd love to do just that. The keynote speaking website is www.stress2logic.com. That is STRES2logic.com. If you're aware of any conference speaking engagements where you'd like to have me speak, I'd love an introduction. You can always share my electronic business card, which is Marcus Melnick, MarcusMelnick.com. Now, back to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I really hope that you consider a donation to Two Men in a Truck with their program that really, really helps people in the community. It touches my heart, as you guys heard. We're looking at starting a not-for-profit to deliver mindset training for people in relationships or getting out of relationships that have an inappropriate power balance. There's a couple of things I want to share about my company that some progress that we've made. First of all, we now can accept credit card payments on the spot. Meaning, when you go and register for a class, you'll go to our website, firearmmentor.com/classes. It has listed all of the classes that we have coming up. Our next concealed carry class is the 15th and 16th of March. And once you hit that link, you are taken to an online software where you'll register for the class, put in all sorts of information, and then the system actually charges, or you put in your credit card, just like you're buying something on Amazon or another website. So, and I never see those numbers on purpose. I never, ever even have the credit card data because it's going through a secure third party. I don't want to have the responsibility of handling a ton of credit card information. However, sometimes I do, not sometimes, every week I'm doing personal one-on-one lessons or one-on-two lessons. And in the past, I've accepted cash, Zelle, Venmo, Cash App, and sometimes those aren't so secure. So in order to increase the security of the people, now I still no longer have access to credit card numbers, which is great. I have a little reader that attaches to my cell phone. And now, for the convenience of my customers, if you would like a private lesson, you can actually swipe a credit card. And it goes in my phone. Again, it's a secure app through a credit card processor. You get emailed the receipt. And that is a convenience for everyone else. Now, the other announcement that I want to make is a new service that we're offering. It's going to be offered as a private lesson, and that doesn't necessarily mean one-on-one. If you have several people, we can certainly do that. But one of the things that I do in my classes is I educate people on the progression of projectile weapons. And projectile weapons started before humanity even walked on this earth. There have been arrowheads that have been found in Africa with Australopithecus and Homo erectus and all these pre-human species. Obviously, gunpowder was invented, things progressed, and in roughly the 1850s through 1900, there was the guns of the Wild West. There were single-action revolvers, which means you have to cock each gun before you shoot it, lever-action rifles, which you see on all the Westerns, and double-barrel shotguns, which are called coach guns because the stagecoaches had one in them. I have modern versions of these. I have a single-action revolver, I have a lever-action rifle, as well as a double-barrel shotgun. And for people who want to experience that or who love Westerns and the lines in the Westerns, I'll be a huckleberry, that's a line from a Western. Jerk that smoke wagon and go to work, that's another one. These are from Tombstone. It has some great quotes in it if you haven't seen Tombstone. But if you wanted to experience what it's like to shoot those types of guns, I can now schedule it with you. If you're interested in scheduling something, the cost is $125, and that includes your ammunition. Does not include the range fee, which goes to the range. And we can do this on Thursday or Friday afternoons or evenings. I'd love to start this. Why am I interested in this? Well, the idea came to me when I was visiting my father-in-law and he was watching a Western. But the reality is my family has been in the part of my family has been in the United States since prior to the Civil War. And a lot of this firearms knowledge has been passed down to me. In fact, there's a picture that was hanging in my kitchen as a kid. I've restored it and now it's hanging in my family room of my family on the back of a wagon. There's only one person I can actually identify. He's a little kid, and he's my great-grandfather. And at the moment that the photo was taken, he turned away, so I can only see the back of his head. How do I identify him? I didn't. My father did when he was alive. He told me that. So if this is something that you're interested in, please reach out to us. Our electronic business card is firearmmentor.com. That is FIREARMMENTOR.com. I'd love to meet with you, your family members, your friends, so that you can experience this rather unique type of thing. These are used in modern society. There is SAS, which is the Single Action Shooter Society, and then there is also the CMSA, which is the Cowboy Mounted Shooting Association. There's these competitions throughout the United States. So I'd love to hear from you. Stay tuned for the second half of our episode this week. The views expressed are not those of local community broadcasting, WYML LP, or its management, volunteers, or underwriters.